Hello and welcome to my 7th devlog for my game Drone Extreme. In this devlog I will be covering some of the improvements I've made since the last devlog. So this would include fixing splines, adding a color map to the terrain, along with terrain layers, and also laying out a path for the race, and also fixing the camera too. The camera was bugged last week. Okay, so the next part then will be covering trees and the path. So I'm applying trees to the terrain randomly generating trees onto the terrain, and then along the path I am removing the trees. As you can see, there's no trees along the path. I'm also adding a dirt layer that has a certain radius and it goes along all the points, so it lays out the path for the race. I am doing this by creating, I'm randomly creating trees at different positions in the world, and what I'm doing here is I'm essentially saying I'm going through each point in the point transforms, and I'm saying if the tree is within a certain radius of each point, remove it. If not, then just add the tree. And then I'm just adding all the tree to the tree instances. And then for the coloring of the path, like I'm doing here from last week, I was setting the heights of on the terrain under each point. And what I've done this week was I just added this small splat map where essentially I'm getting the alpha maps and I'm saying if for each point, if the X and Z is within that point, I'm coloring a certain radius around that. So it's kind of similar to the trees. I'm just removing the trees around each point and doing the same here for coloring around each point. So then for the coloring of the terrain, I am essentially coloring the terrain by the height. So I can show you here. If I click ground, you can see I have 5 different terrain layers. So I have snow, and one of these is grass, one of these is rock, and then I have different heights set here. So each height would be where each terrain layer should be painted on. Now it's kind of working. It's good progress, but there seems to be an issue where the coloring is a bit off. Like the green shouldn't be that high up on certain parts. So this is something I'll need to fix in the next sprint. So I'm essentially coloring the terrain by height here. So I'm looping through the each point on the terrain, and I'm getting the height of each point. And then what I'm saying here is I'm looping through the layers, and for each height I say if the height that the terrain is at is above the height set, then apply that layer to that height. But again, there seems to be some issue with the applying the colors on the heights. This needs to be fixed next week. So I have also fixed the camera issue from last week. So if I start a race, I will need to add a loading screen. It takes a minute for everything to load in, but the camera does get applied to the player. And then if I just really quickly turn on the player, as you can see, it just plays straight away. Now, as you can see, I'm struggling to fly the drone. This is a performance issue, I believe. So I'm constantly updating and add force to my drone, and I think there seems to be some sort of performance issues with the trees and terrain. So next week I will need to fix that. Okay, so thank you for watching this devlog, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.